Hey everybody, what's up? JB here with Soccer Dad Pod. Got a new episode coming your way. Me, Zach, and Jared, the three amigos, joined together for the first time here in 2025. We headed out to pair to the JJ Twiggs, the finest pizza establishment in the Lou, in my opinion, for non-St. Louis style pizza. We went out there, joined up with a group of coaches that are going to be participating in next year's fall edition of the St. Louis Champions League tournament. High school tournament, pulling together 16 of the finest programs in the area. They all were drawn out of a hat, put into groups of four. There's a group of death. I'll let you be the judge on that. Had a great time talking to some coaches, threw a player into the mix, and we threw a huge promoter of the game on the female side as well, who will be participating in the women's edition this spring. Check it out. Like, review, follow, share. Appreciate all the support. See you next time.
Whoa. Hell of an intro.
You feel pumped up?
Oh, yeah.
Name that tune. First one.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue is right.
I knew that. I don't know the song title.
I don't either.
Kickstart.
Okay.
Kickstart 2025.
See what I did there?
Well done.
Well done. Thanks for picking that up.
Yeah.
This is one of those throwback skating rink fast skate songs. You left the little girlie on the rail, and you're like, see ya.
Yeah.
Skated fast. Gentlemen, 2025, Happy New Year. Good to see you both.
You too.
Last time we all crossed paths was Ambush Game.
Yep. On New Year's Day. Or New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, so that was all the way back last year.
Yep.
How's it been so far? Snow, ice?
Love that.
Mr. Transportation Logistic Manager, how you liking these roads?
I tell you what, the storms that have gone through our country have made my life hell. I have been miserable.
Literally, figuratively?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Snow and over-the-road transportation and ice in literally every part of our country is...
Yes, but you have one job. The Hershey's need to be on the shelves, brother.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Yep. Yeah.
Zach,
Terrible.
2025 so far, what are we? How many days in are we?
14. We're halfway through
14?
the first month. And I think it's good, been okay.
So 351 left. Is it going to? Are you looking up, down,
Looking
sideways?
up. Looking up. Yeah. What sucks is
You're looking forward to Tuesday.
I am. I don't know why, but I'm looking forward to it. No, it's been one of those things where it just felt like the holiday break took forever because we went on vacation and then we were home for the holidays and then, yay, it's time to go back. And they were back for 2 days and then the snow hit and they were back for like another week. And it's not just the kids because Mandy's home as well when there's no school. So it's the whole house.
It's just the wife.
No, it's not that. It's when I have to get up and work and they're still in bed for days, that's really demoralizing.
Well, and let me speak for our first guest here. We'll have him on here shortly, but our restaurateur / soccer legend,
Pizza aficionado.
when the holidays fall midweek, the restaurant business does pretty good because he gets to parlay both weekends.
Yep.
When the holidays fall midweek for just about the rest of the world, especially transportation, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So
is it worse than hunting season for you?
Yes, yeah, it
Is
is.
it? Really? Oh, wow, that's
It
pretty
is.
bad.
It is worse. But hey, let's bring him on. We have who do we have, JB? We have Coach Mike Cavane. He's on and speak about the restaurant business on Wednesdays.
You selling a lot of pizzas these days?
Yeah, we are. We had a good holidays. Like you guys just found out, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are good days with Christmas and New Year's because we don't lose a weekend.
Yep.
So we're open both the weekends prior and after the holiday season. So out-of-towners come in and the families come in and they want their pizza.
Well, our listeners know, and anybody that knows me personally knows that this JJ's is my top of the pile Double decker pepperoni.
Appreciate
Just
that.
you like that's our.
I'd only amend it a little bit
What's
by
that?
adding the sausage.
You know,
Because the sausage here
I've done both,
Yum.
and it's all good. But there's something about the simplicity
Just stock.
of just
Yeah, there's nothing wrong there. I'm with you.
So we're here for a special event. The Champions League, High School Champions League, boys draw for 2025 season is being held this evening. You should have a handful of the coaches here to check out. So real quick, give the 101 to the listener. What is the High School Champions League and kind of what's going on here tonight?
Well, we started last year, was our first year of the Champions League, and it went very, very well. 16 teams, 4 groups of 4. We went by district winners, Missouri power ranking, all those kinds of things that came into play on who was invited, who wasn't, and was very successful last year in their first year, and we're hoping to continue that and have the draw tonight. A few different teams this year. A couple of teams didn't make the cut, and everybody's okay with that because they know going in what it's going to take to get the opportunity to play in the league. And we hope it's as big a success this year as it was last year.
So let's go back about 100 episodes or so ago. We were actually sitting right here at this table. We did a little bit of a round table powwow with a couple of your peers, coaching peers, and we had Coach Mickler dialed in from CBC. Coach Keller was here from St. Dom and yourself. And we were talking about kind of the expectation of the Champions League itself and, being a different event rolling into the market. After year one on the boys' side in particular, did it meet, exceed? How are your expectations now after last fall's tournament?
Yeah, I think it exceeded our expectations. If anybody was out at the semifinal night or the final night, they saw what it meant to not only the teams, but the communities that surround those teams. And great crowds, 2 great semifinal games and a final game as well. And the teams that were in the Final Four deserved to be in there. They had a tough road to get there, and it went better than we ever could have expected.
I think the beauty of this thing is we have the draw tonight. There's 4 to 6 new teams in. Those teams are all deservedly so. I'm interested to kind of get, unveil the new teams. And the beauty of the high school sports and the college sports is these teams that graduate players. And, some of these teams that had a lot of success lost a lot of seniors. So what's great is who's up next? Who's going to step forward and do well in this year's Champions League? That's the most exciting thing for me. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Every year is a different year, certainly. But as coaching as long as I have, all the teams go through the senior group that leaves that was there as freshmen, and there's 5 or 6 or maybe 7, maybe even 8 very good players in the one class, and they kind of carry that group for a number of years. And then when those guys are gone, those guys graduate, the next guy's up, certainly. But every year seems to be a little different. Just your personnel is going to be different because of graduation and the new kids coming in. But this year should be no exception. I think the teams that have been good, that were good last year, are still going to be good, even with losing some of the seniors. But it should be an interesting tournament, and we're just looking forward to doing it again. And I think the expectation now of the tournament after what happened last year, there's excitement around that, and these teams, talking to a lot of the coaches, they want to be part of it.
Yep.
And so some schools might have to strengthen their schedule a little bit because we go by with the Missouri power ranking, so they're going to have to play a little bit better schedule possibly. Win a district and you get an opportunity, but if you don't, there's other ways to get in, and we'll certainly try to continue to make this a better and better event. And the excitement, I think, I was out at school today and some of the kids asked me, who we playing? I said, well,
Yep.
The draw's tonight. We had to postpone last week because of the snow. So here we go tonight, and word will get out pretty quick who's playing who, and that'll just draw attention to high school soccer again.
Yep. Go ahead, Zach.
I just am looking forward to it because I think maybe unlike last year, and you're a coach, you've gone through it now, will the team circle that first Champions League game as a must-win in preseason? Will they put it up on the board as something to march towards early on, those 2-a-days and those early camps.
Yeah, I mean, we've never had anything like this during the regular season that meant something. I mean, we've had tournaments before, but nothing like this one. And I think everybody's going to be excited to see who they draw, and I think all the group games are going to be even more important this year because of what happened previous. And a lot of the players, a lot of our guys from Chaminade went out to the semifinal game, and they were just standing there like, man, we want to be in the
I want a piece of that
action.
Yeah.
And then and the teams that advanced, I mean, the excitement from that Wednesday to Saturday, talking to DeSmet and talking to Kells and everybody, they were so excited to play in the final, and the community really came out and supported it.
So let me ask you a zoom-out question, kind of in terms of the broader picture of soccer within our marketplace, because over the past 10, 15 years in particular, there's been just huge tectonic shifts, in the club side with academies and high schools trying to figure some things out. And on our last episode, we talked about some of the proactive steps that the high school game is making, specifically here in our market with the Tournament of Champions on both the women's and the men's side. And then working with like Coach Ehrenberg on the best 11, shining a little bit more of a PR light on these kids as well. So when you look at this constant kind of alphabet league chaos that is occurring in real time on the club side, how do you feel about high school soccer, specifically here in St. Louis, with the implementation of Champions League, with some of these more modern media spotlights on these kids, with the chaos that's going on in the broader market?
Modern media is right. And the kids are media kids. They look at things, they want to see things, they want to see their name up in lights, they want to see their name, their school, they want to see people talking about them and talking about the school and talking about the games. And anything that we can do to promote our game, the high school game, we need to do, and we're starting to do that more with guys like you and Dave's, again, his best 11 and so forth and so on. And that's a big deal now, where years and years and years ago it wasn't.
You didn't need to do it. Back then, right. You were the game in town.
Right.
So let me ask you, go ahead, Jared.
Well, and I think what's interesting about the implication of this high school Champions League. So, like, for instance, Kells. So the goal for many, many decades was to come into preseason, and we have to do well. We're going to try to be healthy. We're going to clip towards districts. We're going to win districts. We're going to win state. Well, in Kellsdale, they win the first ever Champions League, and then they kind of get bounced out as they were going late into the state tournament. It's kind of bittersweet because there's almost like two apples to go eat now. What is your take on just that dynamic with what this Champions League has done local and then the overall state run, per se, of the old times?
Well, I think that, like I said earlier, that we've had tournaments in the past, but nothing like this one. And with the excitement that we generated last year, that's only going to continue to grow, hopefully. And so there is something out there in the middle of the season that we want to play. And the group games are early. The group games are in September. And then you got a couple, 2 to 3 weeks off if you qualify, if you reach the semifinals. So there's a goal throughout the whole season, where in years past it was always, all right, we know our district, that's our main focus, but now we've got another focus. Mm-hmm. And we want to win. And we want the kids to have the opportunity to be in that environment, another big time environment. Nothing's ever going to take the place of the state tournament. The state tournament is still, if your team, the whole school gets behind it, not just the soccer people, the whole school. And we're trying to draw that attention as well with the Champions League to get the whole school behind these things. And I think Kells, they did a great job in the semis and the finals, because we had people out there that we didn't even know they were soccer people,
right.
From our school and administrators and teachers and everything else, just because of the excitement level of the tournament.
Well, and kudos to Liberty, because the semifinals were held at Liberty out in Wentzville, which a lot of these guys from the county, where the hell is Liberty at? And they did a really nice job, and they were packed. Liberty did well when their students, their faculty, their communities, like you said, they were behind all of those teams. I mean, SLU traveled well out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't think the travel thing anymore is a big deal. No matter where we hold this thing, the semifinal, which we don't know that yet. We know the final's going to be back out of Creve Coeur again, but the semifinals we're not sure yet. And hopefully it'll just be the same as this past year, maybe even a little bit better.
Let me ask you a parting question. Did you have one?
Nope.
So that we can let you get back to your day job here, drawing names. Outside of Champions League last year, St. Louis team, St. Louis area, we had a sweep, Class 1 through 4. How fun was that for you? Just being a true OG, watching that tournament occur. In Lindenwood, they did a great job hosting. Was it extra fun? Was it bittersweet, sweet seeing no West Side teams lifting a cup?
Well, we've got a great rivalry with Rockhurst, and they've had such great success.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see St. Louis win them all. There's no doubt about it. From with Valley Park and in Class 1 and all the way up the ladder.
That's right. Did you bring the kids in?
I did. I invited the kids after they won on Thursday.
Yeah.
I invited the team, came in on Monday, and I'm waiting for the picture because we are JJ Twiggs Valley Park, and
right.
I'm waiting for the team picture
That's
after
awesome.
the win, and I'm going to hang it up on the wall in the hallway, and they were very gracious and good for Valley Park, and the boy who scored all the goals, he's a very good player.
I love
it. But yeah, it was nice to see St. Louis. We knew we had a St. Louis winner in DeSmetter, St. Louis U High.
Right.
And great for Bobby that they won their first championship in a long time, and great for Dave at Ladue.
Got the monkey off his back.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. I mean, it's hard to win, and for all 4 classes to be St. Louis teams was. We're still pretty proud of our soccer here in St. Louis and our high school soccer. There's no doubt we're pretty proud.
A little bit,
of it.
right?
And it was nice to see all 4 of the classes, the trophy, stay here this year.
I love it.
I was a little bit more proud that next day when all 4 St. Louis teams won.
Oh my God!
It just made me feel better.
It like I said previously before we got on mic, it allowed me to go back to Twitter. Well, Coach, good luck with the draw. We will obviously be in touch. We'll be seeing you on sidelines around. And
thanks for coming out again. I didn't know if you guys would be here tonight. No, but what you guys are doing for us for the high school game, and the more visibility we get, the better. And this is a start of it again. We don't start practice until the first or second Monday in August, but this is already going to generate some enthusiasm and excitement for what's to come. And hopefully the girls have a very good Champions League. And I thought the intro music was going to be Montrose Bad Motor Scooter. That's what I thought it was initially. It's kind of the same licks there on the guitar. I thought it might have been Montrose.
I never thought about that. It is very much like Montrose. I love that.
My last thing for you is the Rockwood girls. You, our listeners some know, some don't. You also coach the girls, and we're going quickly into their spring season, and when they will also have the Champions League. How do you feel about your girls squad this year?
We were young last year. We got we graduated 6 or 7 seniors, but the majority of our girls were freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, and we got a lot of them back. And girls season March 2nd, Monday, March 2nd is the spring season, so it'll be here before you know it. And looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing some good high school girls games.
Love it.
Falcons.
Sweet.
Well, good luck with your season.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Thanks
luck
for
selling
coming.
those double deckers. And if you're listening, what's the address?
JJ Twiggs, 2964 Doherty Ferry,
Love it.
St. Louis, Missouri, but we're in Valley Park, and we just turned 18-year-old. We were 18 years a couple weeks ago.
See, I don't need the address. I just get in the car and says, Dad, would you like to go get pizza? We're out of here. We're going to take a quick break. They're going to draw some names, and we'll be right back after this. See ya. Hey, everybody, real quick, got a PSA for you. January 25th, 2025, come party with us. Amsterdam Tavern, the Amsterdam Tavern, Men in Blazers top 10 soccer pubs in America, who's about to be voted number 1. They will be hosting a party with us, live, recording on site starting at 9 o'clock. And joining us is Lure Drinks, new to the market. They're going to be bringing out new product for everybody to sample. And you might be thinking, well, it's dry January. I don't want to get up early. Well, guess what? There's no alcohol in this, and you are definitely going to thank me when you're done. So, January 25th, 2025, come check it out. Put on your kits, support your team. Come say hi. We'll catch you next time. All right, back.
Turn it up.
JJ Twiggs.
Champions League draw
I know.
on ESPN.
Little,
Just kidding.
The Ocho?
It's on the Ocho. So this is crazy, and I know that it's gimmicky, but I think it was New Year's Day or somewhere in that time frame. I was flipping through, and there was a wiffle ball game on ESPN.
Yeah, you know what? If I see that on my television, I'm just breaking my television.
It was
Like, come
ESPN,
on.
the Ocho, and it had a whole day's worth of events that dodgeball, wiffle ball, quad ball, like all these different sports, but they were on an ESPN channel, but they had changed it to the Ocho for that series of events, which I thought was awesome.
Let's have a little fun real quick here because, you guys, I talked about this before, though. Our Your Name Here points of the day have officially been, well, not officially, but they are going to be taken over by our friends. Even though they haven't signed the paperwork yet, guess what, guys? Session points of the day.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first. I'm gonna toss this out there to everybody at the table here, and our guest for the second. It's not second quarter. For the second period, because we're gonna have probably three of these.
Yeah.
Mr. Coach Timmy Velton from the Webster Groves High School. He's a Webster resident, living in the city, getting a little more culture, but he's got a second kid now, so he's probably heading back to Webster here shortly. I mean, I know
Those chips may drop. You're right.
I know.
Right.
Pet peeves. Let's go around the table. The worst sport on television. Period. Ocho, especially. Zach, your first go.
Cornhole.
Cool.
Oh, you stole mine. I was gonna say cornhole.
What you got? What don't you like?
Oh, they had just an obstacle course one day. Tag. Yeah. Sometimes I see tag.
Professional tag.
Darts.
Darts is somewhat skillful. Bunch of fat English guys that kick the shit out of
Dude, if I played darts for 7 hours, I would win the national championship tomorrow.
I think mine is drone racing.
Oh yeah, that's.
You ever seen that?
Yes,
Never seen it.
I have.
Oh, my God.
They do it through stadiums.
They
they
do
have,
it in
like-
empty warehouses
It's
too.
crazy.
I
It's
feel like
weird.
they're doing that in L.A. right now with the fires, and they're just running into the fire department's planes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's our, and I'm gonna come up with a better name later, but that's our session point of the day, session pet peeve of the day, brought to you by Session Taco.
I got
It is
this.
my mission to elevate Session.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh
See
wow.
what I did there?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Adam, that one's free.
Yeah.
Coach Velton, we're here. JJ Twiggs,
Yes, sir.
Champions League, Season 2 draw. 10,000 foot, man. The team's in this year. What do you think? You followed the event last year. What's your thoughts on Champions League year 2?
Year 2, hoping to build off year 1. You know, obviously or not. Webster, we weren't in it last year, but we're excited to get the at-large bid this year. Had a pretty successful campaign, and hoping to get some more, eyes on us, and continue to build it, and the excitement for it. And
That's phenomenal. I see you got 3 stars. So you had some success. My question to you, the beauty of this high school game is your team going into next year, and you do the girls as well. So you just did the boys side?
I just did.
So on the boys side, are you young? Are you old? What do you have returning, and how excited are you for next year?
So we got a good mix of young and old returning, which we're excited for. We've got a mature group of juniors to be seniors that have had a lot of varsity experience, and I
Nice.
think we've also got we had some good talented JV players that'll come in and fill some spots for some vacated spots from some seniors that just graduated. So that's kind of typical, That's the way you kind of hope it to, that tradition never graduates, as they say, So we just keep building and building and building, and you got those young guys that come in and fill the roles of the graduating class.
What's the field on Old Selma look like nowadays? It's pretty slickster, isn't it?
It's top notch.
It's an amazing facility. Like,
Well, are you going to be switching over to the new Moss Field?
So that's the question everyone asks me. No is the answer. Selma Field will always be the home of Statesman
Love it.
soccer. As
Man,
long,
this dude's drawing lines in the sand.
As long-
Tommy Holmes is smiling from his
as
grave.
long as I'm there. Now, a caveat is that we did play a couple night games over on Moss, because I think the kids did think that was cool. We took our Kirkwood rivalry game. We took that to Moss, and we had it under the lights, and that was fun. And
Yeah, because that new facility, that's pretty fly. But it is in fairness, a football field.
It is.
It's a football field.
Yeah.
It's narrower. It's not as long. So there are some drawbacks to it as far as the soccer is concerned. I personally prefer a grass pitch. Now you got to catch Summerfield early on in the year because it does take some wear and tear. But that's a good home field advantage for us. I don't think people like coming to play on Selma. It's got the fans are right on top of you. We got a good student section. Most people don't ever play on.
You know what's funny? So we were talking about this earlier. The Tottenham game against Tarthmore, which is they're a National League team in
Cup,
England.
yeah.
Yeah, the FA Cup.
And the FA Cup, and the stadium that they played in kind of resembled Selma.
Really?
Very low to the ground. I think the highest was like 15 rows up. Fans are on the field, like crowding the whole thing. It was a lot of fun and a
Full-time
completely different
plumber
environment.
smoking at halftime.
Yes. Yeah, it was cool. So
Were there lights on the field?
that I don't know. It was during the day, so it was hard to tell. But I've been to many games at that field watching my nephews play and things like that. So I'm glad you guys are sticking to your guns and staying in the OG.
So Champions League, you guys are going to be year one. You've seen the teams that are kind of spread out. You all obviously you were following it last year. Thoughts on the competition itself and what it means to your kids, because they got to watch all their buddies from club ball they play at all these other schools, and the social media that came along with it, and and a few of them I saw some of the kids at the semifinal games, and I'm sure some went to the final. Have you heard through the grapevine, through the boys, are they looking forward to it kind of in an elevated manner, or is it just like these are more just games?
Oh, I think they're more than just games. I think they're excited because, like you said, they were in the stands for those semifinals and finals matches, and one of the big reasons you play high school soccer is for the eyes on you, and you get more coverage on high school soccer, and certainly the Champions League will be even above that your day-to-day coverage. So there's definitely excitement about it. The competition speaks for itself. It's called the Champions League for a reason. You look at those teams; every one of them's a tough, well-coached. Terrific teams. So, how many state champions from last year? There's the Final Four teams. They're all sprinkled in there. So they're all going to be tough matches. You're not gonna find your way into an easy group. I don't think that's possible.
Yep.
Well, 3 out of the 4 are in this draw for this year.
You got the paper there?
Yeah, I have them all. Class 2, Class 3, Class 4 state champs will be in this year's.
Clayton Ladue slew.
Yep. And then Valley Park was Class 1, right? And they will not be in it. But the newer teams, you are one of them. I think there's 6 new teams. I'm excited about the new teams because I think that's the best part about the high school game is you coaching there, and you've been there for some years now. And some of these guys like Vader and Mickler have been there for a decade, or actually a century.
Generations.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool, these kids that are coming through the program, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, graduating these kids, and like it's almost like a fact. That's the best part about the high school game is having these kids that are coming in, that are going to be seniors, that were juniors, and going into these tournaments. It's just got to be a lot of fun for your group and just your program in general.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to all the players that played before the Champions League even started to have that reputation that we were even considered for an at-large bid. So we've certainly had a good run of success. You mentioned our 3 stars, and I'll mention them too. The last decade's
How many stars is that?
The last decade's been very good to the Statesmen, and there's been a lot of hard work and good players to come through. So. Yeah.
Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to next season for the boys. I know we're trying to wrap up here for you so we can get this draw underway. Any last parting thoughts on the Champions League? Who do you hope you don't get in the group with? And then we'll review it as soon as this draw is done.
Yeah, you know what? I like what you did there. Let's talk some smack. Read the Pool A teams and give us we want them. Because you're going to be drawn with one of them.
You're not going to get that from me. I'm not falling for that.
Fine. Let them go. Let's get this draw done.
Let me ask you a question. The whole pound for pound, there's a saying in sports, right? You're the best pound for pound in your weight class. This is a unique event because it's able to take you guys out, all the teams out of their weight classes. obviously Class 4 remains where they are, but being Class 3 and a few Class 2 schools, they're all playing up. Do you find that like this is kind of that ultimate bragging rights style of a competition in so much that you're really crossing streams? Now, you put a lot of those teams on your schedule to begin with, but it's a whole other thing to actually be in an event in which there's a trophy to walk away with.
Correct. Yeah, and I think we do schedule a lot of these teams on a regular schedule, but you don't have a lot of opportunities to win hardware in high school soccer, state championship districts. There's not many tournaments left, so I think that's where this has the potential to turn into that, ultimate bragging rights competition, and hopefully to build into that and get stronger and stronger each year. Because as you said, there's teams from all three classes, the top teams from all three classes. Yeah. So yeah,
on any given Sunday, right?
Right.
I'll just give them a little bulletin board material because I already knowing the geography and knowing the kids that live in this market, I'm pretty sure them boys at the Webster Statesman locker room were circling that SLU game.
Possible. Yeah, I mean, most of them go to school. But they live on the same blocks. Yeah, and they're all hanging.
There's a lot of crossover. Yeah.
So let's just talk generically. Then you're going into the season. Jared asked you about your team, kind of the rotation. What's a good season for you coming up here? Are you expecting district? Do you feel that confident, or you think you can make a good run deep? Let's project out here in early January, because nobody will be listening to this thing in August.
Early January, I don't know. Well, I expect to have a strong team. Every game we'll be in will be a tight game, and I think we can make a run. I think we can make a postseason run. I feel good about that every year, and some years, are better than other, but
I love it.
They are what they are.
All right, man, we'll let you get back to it. They are drawing names as we speak. Congratulations on entry into the tournament. We'll be following you and catching up next time.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. We'll be right back after this. Soccer Dad Pod, JJ Twiggs, get you double-decker. We're out of here. We're back. Did you see what I did there?
I do. Yeah. Timber. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew.
Because I personally hate this song.
This song?
I do.
It's a good song.
I thought you loved Kesha.
For much different reasons. Did I say that out loud?
Yep.
No, Pitbull.
I didn't even know who sang it.
This is like one of my wife and kids' favorite songs ever.
Really?
Yeah, they like pretend to work out to it.
Pretend.
JJ Twiggs, Champions League draw. We are rolling in with a little Pitbull and Kesha. Timber, in honor of Group Pool A.
I'll just throw them to you if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so Pool A, the draw is complete, folks. In Pool A for 2025, the reveal is complete. We have Lindbergh, D. Smet, Timberland out of Winsville, and Principia Soccer. Pool B is kind of a real big St. Chuck rivalry thing.
Don't give us this play-by-play
Pool
just because
B,
St. Dom's in there.
Liberty,
It is a rivalry.
St. Dominic, Francis Howe, and Oakville. Pool C, SLU High, your state champs, Clayton,
State champ.
Greyhound,
State champ.
Chaminade, and our last guest, Mr. Timmy Velton's Webster Grove Statesman's. Pool D, Ladue, state champ. Vianney had
State
a good
runner-up.
run. CBC and Zumwalt West. So, who's the group of death there? I and not because it's being a homer. I think that Pool B is the group of death.
I think it's
Well, you had to have the former champion be in the group of death, and that's
Well, joining us from Timberland. Let's ask somebody that's actually
I
in
agree.
the know. Joining us from Timberland, soon to be next year senior.
Yep.
Give me your full name, brother.
Landon Mann.
Landon Mann.
A-N-N. Yep.
From Timberland. You came out here. You guys, you and your buddy, you guys are the only players representing your teams out here. Like, you've already circled this. It's on your calendar.
Yeah.
How exciting was it just to kind of be a part of this? You see those crests that are going up. If you add up all the stars that are on those the jerseys for the teams involved. That's a lot of state titles.
Be one more on Timberland next year.
Oh, I
heard it
like
here.
this kid. How much fun was it to watch it? And what's it mean to you to know that your team's part of this tournament?
It was just fun to be involved in it. Kind of get in the mix more with different tournaments than just regular season, then districts, and then state if you're lucky enough. So it's good to be involved.
Well, who's the group of death? You call it the group of death. I mean,
Every
you're a
group
player.
is a death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and throw some shade. If there was a group that you would want to play in that is not your group, which group would you want to play in?
I'd love to play in probably C.
There you go,
about it.
Billiken, CC. Yeah, that's it. You know what? At the end of the
I don't
day,
know. They're all tough.
So let me ask you this: as a local, obviously you're a baller. You're looking forward to your senior year. You probably know a plethora of kids that are on all these other teams. Talk a little bit about Champions League, just from a kid perspective. What's the chatter on the street, so to speak, as far as interest level, awareness? How important is this tournament compared to the season, compared to district, compared to state?
I think during the end of the Champions League season last season, it got a lot more popular than at the beginning. Not a lot of people knew about it until the end, and then everybody started talking about who won and who didn't win and all this and that, and then stats and then player of the tournament. So it's getting more important, I think. I think if they continue doing it and keep going more and more with it, it'll be better.
So going into the tournament, then let me ask you this. You've got your group, Lindbergh, DeSmet, and which one is that? Principia. I think I know, but you know what? I'm going to let you off the hook. When you see DeSmet in particular, in your group, and if we were on video right now, your face was just like, oh shit,
Who I did not want to get drawn against, probably.
and that's a lot of stars on that crest. But in order to in order to be the best, you got to beat the best,
Yeah.
right? Is that the team? Throwing no shade to the other teams. When you see DeSmet in your group, is that the game in your group that you're
Yeah,
like, damn,
that's
we gotta be
definitely the team we need to get a result against the most out of probably any of them, or Lindbergh. Because is it Principia?
Principia,
Yeah, that's probably, I say weak. They're not weak, but it's like probably compared to us who we would compete the most against. So hopefully we can get results out of Lindbergh and DeSmet at the same time.
Love it.
Go ahead, Zach. You got.
No, I'm excited for you guys. This is a cool opportunity. Your coach seems excited. Driving all the way down here from Wentzville to hang out at the pizza bar.
Yeah, we got to get him some media training too. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
completely
he
unwell.
He wouldn't go on.
He would not
He
come
was
on.
like, do you
so
want to
you're-
go on? I'm like, yeah,
you're a
might
surrogate,
as well. I haven't
Landon.
drove 40 minutes for nothing.
Let me ask you another question here, because for me, my favorite thing about high school soccer, period, is the rivalry. There's always you got the team that you hate, and now with kind of this tournament, not only do you have all the Wentzville schools that are, I'm assuming, are your
Yeah.
primary rivals.
Yeah, Liberty
Now-
was the main one.
You know-
Played them 3 times last season, lost 3 times. They were half of our losses. We lost 6 times, so it was awful.
So let me ask you this: assuming that you play them 3 more times this year, would you give up a sweep, get beat all 3 games in Champions League to beat them 3 times? How important is the rivalry to you?
It's pretty, it was a big rivalry. We haven't won against them in 4 years, 5 years. It was a long time. They've beat me every year since my freshman year. I've never beaten them, and I haven't scored against them either. We've never really put up a result good enough against them. They're our main rivals.
You got a question?
No, I mean, Cannon Nord's on that team.
Yeah, that's
He just breaks bodies. So good luck
me and
next
him,
year, partner.
Me and him went at it. In our district game, it was me and him the entire we just kept going at it. And he's a solid defender. I enjoy playing against him. He was really fun, and he's
just
very respectful.
He's a human bowling ball, is what.
Yeah, he was quite built. I was surprised, man.
We've known Cannon quite some time, and
So
human bowling ball is a good description.
quick side question: club. When you're not playing high school ball, who do you play for in the rest of the season?
Last season, I played for Columbia Rush 08 team. We were quite in Midwest Conference. We we were really good. We finished second in that league or something like that. And then this season, I'm kind of taking a lot less down because I was just tired of everything going on. So I'm playing for Missouri Rush 08 ECNL RL team.
Right on, man. Well, hey, Brendan, thank you for joining us. Good luck to you.
Landon.
And your
Landon.
No.
Landon. It is
Landon.
Landon Brent.
Landon man.
Who was Brent? Who was?
Brennan was the assistant coach for the
So I'm not far off.
No, no.
Close.
No.
I get called Brandon.
Well, Landon, thank you for joining us. Good luck with the tournament.
Hey,
We're
thank
gonna
you.
let you get
Excited.
back to your pizza and everything here. We'll be watching. We'll be following up. So be sure to spread the word to all your friends.
I will.
Soccer Dad Pod, like those guys, they're not really that old and that fat. They're actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I
And
will.
make sure your
I'll tell
coach
'em.
nominates players for
Yes.
Player of the Week and all
Yeah,
that
I
fun
will.
stuff.
Best 11. All right, man.
Thanks,
good,
Landon.
Good luck. We're gonna let
Hey,
you roll
thank
out of
mate.
here.
Cheers.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to keep talking here for a second. So I want to do just our own, the three of us. I got to be honest, man. I watched his. One thing we haven't mentioned yet. Where else in America, in the soccer universe in America, can you go to a local pizza pub and you have a draw for a high school tournament, to kind of mix and match the multi-classes, private, public, all that other stuff. And, most people are just going to be like, hey, let me get somebody to just put this shit on the wall. Not in St. Louis.
No. We had Mr. One of the most established soccer players in the history of our country.
A U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Mr.
Do the draw. Like he was putting the crests on the board.
And all the coaches were like,
Well, hold on.
yeah, all the coaches were like, Al, no, do it over here.
Yeah.
No, Al, do and Al's just over there just being part of it, like he's
Altruist.
one of the gang.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of funny. I mean, this is something that, like, for those of you that are listening, whether you're a fan of high school soccer, you're listening to this episode because you want to hear what's going on. This is the kind of pedigree that you're either, if you're a coach, congratulations, your program has it. If you're a parent or a kid and you're like, yeah, you want to root for all these, you don't understand the amount of support that you have.
Agreed.
That is generational.
Yep.
Because literally, U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer is the one putting that little Scotch tape sticker on the wall. It was super cool. But anyway, I was looking at these groups, and you start to try and say, oh, group of death or otherwise. Look, at the end of the day, like we were just talking to our Landon, right? Landon.
That's right.
There are a lot of state title stars on that wall.
Yeah.
And I think that the X factor for these kids, and it might be a benefit for these coaches going into the season because they're going to be able to communicate to their boys. These Champions League games are going to be early in September, right? So maybe, you can't wait to get hot later. You got to be ready earlier in the season.
No, they mean a lot, and I think it's going to change things. What I want to find out, maybe after next season in the Champions League, is more about we've asked the question about which is more important, and nobody's going to tell us that Champions League is more important than state.
You know what? Not yet. I predict someday.
But if you're a team that's not going to be really a contender in the state championship, but if you've got opportunity to play in the Champions League, then you can refocus and kind of tool up a little differently. So it's fun.
And my takeaway from just the draw, and here's what I know, just because I live in the area, and it's not about group of death. It's not about. I think what's interesting is Liberty out in Wentzville and St. Dominic have created quite a rivalry, which is what we talk about a lot on this show.
Oh, yeah.
And for them to actually be in the same group, that's newsworthy in this platform, because that's going to be a game that they circle.
Do they play normally in the regular season?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, here's the funny thing, there's no way we can prove it. By the time you're listening to this episode, it's all long since passed. I mean, this draw occurred about 20 minutes ago, right? I guarantee if we were to pull up Instagram right now, those kids are already talking trash. That's the fun thing about this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's accelerating at a pace that I don't think these coaches and the organizers really realized.
Yeah.
So,
And you look at last year, Liberty, they had a really, really good year, and they were one game away from really going to really far in that tournament, that state tournament. Francis Howe beat them 5-0 this year.
Yeah.
And they're in the same group.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we are going to take a quick break out here at JJ Twiggs. We're going to be back with one more guest, and we're going to wrap it up. Give you a recap. We're going to bring on another. We're going to get some more coaches' opinion on these groups because it's fun to hear their own take on the new rivalry, these groups, et cetera, in the tournament. So thanks for listening. Like, review, follow, share. We'll be right back. Catch you on the other side. All right. Had a little pizza snack.
That was good. So good. And I didn't even have the double decker this time. I just had the flat out good pizza. Oh, so good.
I've asked this many times. Is Vader a better soccer coach or a better pizza coach?
I think there were eras for Vader.
You think so?
Vader eras.
You think so?
You know.
Because he
Right
does
out of
pizza
the gate.
pretty flipping good.
Been doing it for 18 years.
But he's also coached some of our premier women and men's players that have come out of our market. So I mean, it's a pretty valid discussion.
It is. I think the evidence is on the walls, though.
It's on the walls, and it's also the title that you give him. Because some people call him Big Cat, and those were the OGs.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got the Vader eras. And then, I don't even know what the guys call him now.
See, as a kid that grew up, true Gen Xer, Star
You don't call him
Wars.
late to supper.
No, no. Right out of the gate, you heard her here first. Coach Guns, Coach Gunther. Do you prefer Coach Guns or Coach Gunther? What do you
Guns.
you
Yeah, no one
lean
really
into
calls
it?
me Coach Gunther unless they're like new.
So is it kind of like the Big Cat /
Yeah.
Guns, the old school?
Well, everyone called me Guns growing up because of Gunther,
Yeah.
you know, and just no one knew how to pronounce my name because the silent E like messed everything up. So I was like, it's like
Gunther.
gun like the weapon. That's how I tell my students every year. I'm like, it's gun like the weapon. I'm like, just call me Guns. So
Oakville head coach, women's program, soccer player du jour in her own time.
Fellow Bear.
yeah,
Oh my
I'm
goodness!
actually
Oh, yeah.
going there next weekend for the Hall of Fame thing.
I am as well.
Oh, you are cool.
So there's 40.
Well, Leamy's getting inducted.
There's
yeah.
45
Stars are
ex-players
lining.
coming for Leamy. You know
See,
that?
I don't know how many are coming for Brewer, but he was, you know,
Well,
my guy.
just again, the men's program out showing the women's program. We'll see you next week.
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Champions League draw year 2 for the boys side fall tournament around the corner. You were the official MC. We were just talking prior to the break about kind of the irony, the little fun nuances of St. Louis soccer in general, in so much that here's this tournament with, you know, truly legendary programs that are all being drawn out. But then you have a guy like Al Trost, you know, sticking him on the wall, and you know, and you with your own history and pedigree and experience, and from club, because you were JB too, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were a Marine girl through to Mo State, now coaching. How fun is it just to be part of things like this, let alone, you know, with your program and competing in the spring? And how fun is it?
It's amazing. You know, when Greg approached me about this, and it was really after the interview I did with you and Jen, because I was just saying some things about the Champions League, and he listened to it and contacted me and was like, hey, you know, and that's kind of how all that started.
Wow.
Great.
And yeah, it was awesome. And so we just were on the same page of why we're doing this, and to see it now have a season under its belt, which was really cool and successful and fun. And we're really excited about the girls to start up in the spring. It's just awesome to be on the forefront of it. I mean, I didn't know that I was going to be handing the cards to Al today, but you know, it was cool to just kind of feel the vibe in here, and you know, we're all getting excited to see, you know, what's going to happen, you know, in the fall with the boys again. That was a fun tournament.
Yeah, for me, Happy New Year. It's 2025. Really quickly, we're going to be into early March, which is when our women's or girls' high school season starts. In Oakville, your team, Coach Guns, is in this year's Women's Champions League. Pool B, you have Clayton, you have Liberty, You have Viz. Can we give any of those other schools any bulletin board material? I mean, how bad are you going to beat them?
Oh, man. So I'll tell you this. We haven't played Viz and we haven't played Clayton.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's been years since we played Viz. Like, enough years ago that I have no data to really even know how we're going to contend with them. But Liberty is going to be a tough one. You know, Heidi is a great coach, and I really love the things that she does and what she stands for. Her players really, you know, are into the things that she does there, and they're going to be contenders this year, even without Champions League. So they'll be a tough team. But here's the thing. The past 3 years, we've lost to them, and it's been very close games. I would say the first, or I guess 3 years ago, it was in the Parkway Showcase. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And we drew them. That was one of our teams that we played that weekend. And it was actually, I had Post-Dispatch come out to cover our game because Dave Robin had just passed.
Damn.
And they had called me and did a pre-interview just kind of about what had happened with Dave and all of that. And you know, they were going to come out and follow us in this game and just kind of like do a story about us. And it was the Parkway Showcase, so it was just, you know, regulation. There was no OT, nothing like that. And we were dominating, and it was the first time we played Liberty, I think, ever. Like, we just put them on, or they put us in the tournament together. And I didn't know really much about them. So, you know, and I like that. I like going into games where I really don't know much. I don't want to know. I just, you know, if it's a new contender, I'm just like, whatever. But we were playing well, had a great match, and I believe we should have won the game. And then they had this one player, Morgan Strutman. She ended up going, I think, to K-State, I think it was.
I think you're right.
But she, with 37 seconds left in the match, took on one of my center backs, beat her, and then slipped it in and beat us. So then the story in the Post-Dispatch was about them. It was about Morgan Strutman. And I was like, oh. So that was the first time that we played Liberty.
Yeah.
So you're saying you really want to beat Liberty?
Yeah. And
in
then the
Champions
next
League.
year, I think they beat us pretty good the next year. It was at Liberty. It was a freezing night. It was like early in the season, if I can remember. It wasn't like terrible. It was like 3-1, but like we just couldn't get any generation of anything. And then last year, it was also a close game. I think it was 2-1 at home. But yeah, I'm ready to beat them.
So listen.
I'm ready to
Well,
beat
and
them.
then-
We're due. No.
And then me, and I'll kick it to JB and Zach. You mentioned his name, Dave Robin. Many of these personalities in this room, coaches. Dave Robin was a longtime high school coach. He was a mentor. I've listened to your episode. He's a mentor for you. How much would this tournament and this grouping, both on the men's and girls side, boys and girls side, how much would it mean to him to be involved in this? You know, turn back the clock 15 years ago. I know him because I played against him. I had many friends that played for him. He would have really loved this.
Oh my gosh, Dave, he's here right now. Like he got that spirit, and that was all his philosophy. And you know, he's just loving every minute of this. I mean, this is exactly what he was about, and why. You know, I learned from Dave. You know, I coached under him for 10 years. You know, he was like I always say, I'm the Luke Skywalker to his Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, that was always our thing because we both love Star Wars. And so, you know, I was his apprentice, and I took a lot of his philosophy into what I do as a coach. And I truly believe that high school ball is extremely important for the development of players. And, I mean, yes, you've got outliers, and you're always going to have that. But, you know, when it comes to the entirety of, you know, or the bigger mass of, you know, high school level athletes, it's important for them to compete in the high school realm.
And the experience.
Yes, the experience of it. And this Champions League gives them just something new, something fresh. And
so let me kind of extrapolate on that a little bit, because you are, you know, based on our conversation back in the day, following the program, the socials, it appears that you are definitely like a player's coach. Your players are more than, you know, that vertical relationship between them as players and you as a coach. you're really engaged with all of them. You're all over socials. You're always promoting them. What's your take through your girls with Champions League coming up in the spring, the addition of the best 11, all these things that are occurring on the high school side? Are you hearing up through your players like maybe a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more like circling dates? Maybe, if they had a rival, is that like hatred for the rival elevated a little bit? Because it seems like there's just a wave, on both the boys and the girls side that, high school soccer in general just is picking up. Not that it was ever slow, but it's definitely picking up momentum.
So I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled because I always have had that. I mean, Dave really created a legacy at Oakville. And Oakville is a soccer town. It is a soccer school. Like, if you hear Oakville and you're in the athletic world, you immediately think soccer. And that's just what we are and who we are. I mean, we may not have, the championships, like a zillion of them under our belt, but anyone and everyone who comes to Oakville, they know that we're a soccer school, and it's just like kind of our thing. And WAOS, which is what Dave built, which means we are Oakville Soccer. It's like it's a rite of passage in Oakville. And so, I always get motivation, and the girls are so excited and they're so pumped. But yes, I do feel like with the Champions League, with Best 11, with all the things that are starting to come out, it just puts a lot more, emphasis on, each match is, there's something tied to it now that makes it a little bit more exciting. And, they're all, and I will even tell them, like, girls that I've had and I put up for Best 11, and they just were just so excited about it. And then the other girls on my team, they want to be in the Best 11. So it's just another thing that they all strive for and do. And now with the Champions League, the girls followed what happened with the boys, and they went to a lot of the matches.
Yep.
And so now they're just like so excited about it. And I think it's amazing. I mean, it's really changing things in the climate. But again, the climate we've always had is great. It's just making it better.
Yeah, a little fuel on the fire.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you a direct question about the boys' draw. Pool B, I mean, we've all been kind of prognosticating here, like what's the group of death, et cetera. In all fairness to our friend Jared here, Pool B with St. Tom and Liberty in particular at the top of that group, knowing kind of the rivalry there, that's going to be a death match. Your Oakville counterparts are in that group. As a fan, as a Oakville loyalist through and through, when you saw your boys being thrown into that group, gut reaction?
It's going to be tough. But, defending champs of Champions League and, Liberty were contenders. And then again, but, it's anyone's day, when that whistle blows. I mean, we all been there where we look at our opponent and, maybe we don't, give them the respect that we should sometimes. And I don't know, you never know. In high school ball, it's so funny how, I try to describe to people how different high school ball is from like club or any other entity. But, you may think, like, I have 14 girls returning on varsity this year, okay? Now, do I think all of them are going to be the same way that they were last year? Absolutely not, because I've been doing this for so long. I could have a girl that, had a breakup with a boyfriend and got depressed and gained all this weight and doesn't, play the way she did before. And that happens. No lie. Like, I can probably tell you names of
that
girls
sounds like
that's happened
Zach
to.
every other episode.
Yeah. I break up with my boyfriend every other week.
Yeah.
Thanks, JB.
Yeah, but you're not playing soccer the same way.
No,
are
I'm
you?
not.
Yeah,
My
see?
game's off
See?
on those days.
Right. Or I could have a love triangle going on that year or whatever.
boy.
There's it's any little thing that could happen. You never know. You think you're going to have this team that you had the year before,
Yeah.
and it's not. You could have, the top player in the state, but yet they don't gel well with the other players you have. I mean, there's so many variables that go into your success.
That's part of the beauty of high school sports.
Yeah.
I think it is too, because it's you don't, first of all, get to pick from the big group. You pick from what you have.
Yeah.
And there are some development options out there and things like that, but you're kind of leaving a little bit of that development early ages to other people. And then you get to kind of pick through that and then build on the culture you guys have at Oakville. So my question really was around that, which is, how do you take, a disparate group of girls who have all played on different clubs, some high level, some not, and bring them together and create a team that can win together? I know that's not easy to answer, but what are some of the steps that you take?
So the first thing that I do,
Run them.
day one, well,
Make them
I
all
scare
hate
'em.
me.
No, you scare them. I will tell you, and scare in a good way. Back when I first started, like anything else, anybody starting something new, you're scared yourself. You don't know the ins and the outs, and they can see that. And so now that I've done it for 19 years, I have this where they're afraid of me, but in a good way, But when I talk and I tell them, listen, the first day of tryouts, I say, I don't want you guys wearing any club gear. I don't want to see anything that deals with another soccer team. I don't care what it is. It could be like some old, kickaroos from when you were 8. I don't want you wearing it. Like, I want this to be, you're stripping down and creating a new canvas, and we're going to build on that and become a new whole thing. And that's what I do. I tell them, let's start fresh, and, they do that. I mean, from day one. And we start that, and then we start building on whatever it is that theme is. Like, that's what I was telling those guys over there. Like, I every year come up with a theme for my program. And I can't say what the theme is because it's a big surprise, and the girls question me all year round. They're like, Coach, what's our theme going to be? But that's what I do. I tie it to a theme, and I haven't done it all the years. It was just something new that I started doing, and I think I got it from reading some soccer journal that a coach did. They started doing themes. But it's really worked because then they all adhere to something. They all become this one thing, and then it has like a purpose. Like the first theme I ever did was Bananarama 22. And banana was just a thing that Robin always did because we wore the gold sweatsuits and they were called bananas. So that was 22. And then the year after that was Heart of Gold. And it dealt with because, Robin had passed and he had heart complications and I have heart complications. And we were going to have this big American Heart Association benefit that year. And so we did Heart of Gold. And then the girls on my team had a lot of heart. So there's all these like hidden messages in it. Last year was 24 Karat Magic because it was year 2024 and we're gold.
And you're a huge Bruno Mars fan.
My dog's
freaking
name is
love
Bruno.
him. Yeah.
I love him too.
Bruno Mars. I mean, he's amazing. And then you'll soon know our 2025 theme. But that's what I do. I try to take away these external thoughts of what they think they are. And especially like, they on the club teams, They've been playing with the same girls. They've been playing with girls their same age. They play the same position.
They have the
same
identity.
coach. Yes, it's like you have to take that identity away, and you have to create a new one.
I feel like you're Gene Hackman from Hoosiers. Like I feel
Maybe
like do you have that like little notebook that you just hit on your hand and you don't touch the ball for 2 weeks?
Did you punch a
You
kid
should
before
see
your new job?
notebooks that I have. Yeah.
Okay.
You should. I have thrown things on the bench before.
That's that's full blown South County shit there.
Oh,
I love that.
I've kicked things, thrown things. Yes, I have.
As you
bit.
should.
The team theme this year is Hickory. I figured it out.
Yeah. Well done.
Sarah, Coach Guns, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Good luck with your spring season coming
Thank you.
up. Your season and Champions League, and whatever your theme is. We're rooting for you.
All right.
Boys, I think it's that time.
Sounds good.
You guys, you ready? Pick up some pizzas here. Thanks, Vader.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Soccer Dad Pod, like, review, follow, share. It's all free, and we have very low self-esteem, so when you do that, that helps. Other than that, we're out of here. Support high school soccer. Go to Champions League. Follow it on Instagram. Follow it on Twitter. St. Louis Best 11. Follow those as well, and be sure you click on all the teams involved. They got good stories, great matches. We'll catch you next time. Soccer Dad
Later.
Pod.